Consumerism. It's as American as a bald eagle eating an apple pie during a school shooting. Oh, I don't think I can say that. Consumerism is at the very foundation of our economy here in North America that relies on perpetually infinite growth at any cost, which is a fancy way of saying, if you stop spending money, we're all doomed. Now that sounds like a well-designed system, doesn't it? There was a time where, as a society, we had certain inconveniences or difficulties to navigate, and consumer goods were created as logical solutions to these problems. Not real problems like famine or disease, of course, because those wouldn't be profitable to solve, but more so just first world problems that people are eager to throw money at for a quick fix. 15 to 20 years ago, innovation was at its peak, as we saw things like GPS technology being integrated into our cars and our phones, which made navigation way easier and way safer than unfolding, reading, and refolding a giant paper map while you're driving. We had things like Skype and Zoom and FaceTime enabling us to stay connected with our friends and family across the world, which is amazing. I will even go as far as to give a reluctant nod to digital media and streaming services like iTunes, Netflix, and Spotify, despite the fact that I'm not personally a big fan of them, and acknowledge that they made it easier and at least initially more affordable for people to access the type of movies and music they love. Carrying around an iPod, or God forbid, like a Zune, was far more practical than those giant binders of CDs we all used to have back in like 1998. Fine. And I mean, we could have a whole separate video discussing how the increased access to media has changed the way we all consume it for the worst, and I probably will make that video at some point. But today, life has arguably become too comfortable for most people. All of our first world problems have been solved. We can have access to every bit of information ever discovered in the palm of our hands within seconds. We live in climate-controlled homes with locking doors and security cameras that we can monitor remotely. We drive cars that are safer than ever before and can have any product in existence delivered to our front doorstep within 1 to 2 business days. In truth, most people already have everything they need to be happy, healthy, and productive. So then what? What happens when we don't actually need anything more? Could we all just mostly stop spending money except for on the rare occasion when something wears out and needs to be replaced? Of course not. The entire economy would collapse. Corporations would never earn enough to satisfy their shareholders. So what do? They sell you solutions to problems that don't actually exist. Or better yet, they create problems just so they can sell you the solution. Genius, right? Most consumer goods nowadays are not designed to be practical. They're designed to give you a short enough dopamine rush to make you initially excited about the purchase, but not a long enough dopamine rush to actually keep you satisfied in the long term. Because content people don't make good consumers. Through multi-billion-dollar marketing schemes, social media influencers, and straight-up emotional manipulation, corporations can ensure that you never feel fully satisfied. There's always something wrong with you, something you're lacking, and buying their product will fix it. You'll be more attractive, more productive, more successful, more impressive. You'll have more friends, more time, more sex appeal, more money. I mean, don't think too much about the fact that you're actually spending money on their thing. Just forget about that part. More specifically, if you don't buy whatever it is that they're selling, you'll be the only one who doesn't have it, and you'll be missing out. And you'll be a social outcast, and everybody will think that you're out of the loop and uncool. Or worse, that you're poor. And that would be embarrassing.
She doesn't even go here!
Have a basic reusable water bottle from Walmart or Costco or whatever? What you actually need is a Nalgene. No, just kidding, those are out. Now you need a Hydro Flask. No wait, sorry, I meant a Yeti. No, that was yesterday's news. Now you need a Stanley. And not just one, but a different color for every day of the week. I know you thought you wanted a simple pedometer, but what you actually want is a Fitbit. No, those are out. Now you want an Apple Watch. Hold on, are you still tracking your steps with an Apple Watch like a peasant? What you need is an Oura Ring. By the way, how often do you typically eat ice cream? Maybe once a week? Once a month? 3 times a year? Well, then you definitely need a Ninja Creamy, so you can make it yourself at home. And if you're lucky, you'll start eating more ice cream than ever before, pack on a few extra pounds, and then you'll need a Peloton too. Hallelujah! We're being sold things like Bluetooth toothbrushes, designer dog beds, and light bulbs that you can turn on and off from your phone so you never have to get off your ass. Do you know what all these things have in common? If you said they're unnecessary, you'd be right. But more importantly, they're expensive modern replacements for simple everyday items that traditionally cost very little. A regular toothbrush comes in a 6-pack for about $7. Even a common electric toothbrush will run you about $25. But this one with, hold on, let me check my notes here so I don't get this wrong. Smart technology that maps the surface area of your teeth as you brush will run you over $300. These standard LED light bulbs will run you about $11 for a 4-pack. But these Alexa-compatible smart bulbs will run you $70 for a 4-pack. If you're shit at math, that's 636% more, but they both ultimately just light up the room you're in. Levi's had this $50 Kirkland bed for almost 10 years now, and I have to say that every time he has barfed on it, or sharted on it, or like wiped his eye boogers across it, or really done whatever other gross things dogs do, I've just washed it without a care in the world, and counted my blessings that I wasn't dropped on my head enough times as a kid to grow up into the kind of person who spends $200 to $300 on a dog bed. And how about all those overhyped new phones and watches and TVs that are nearly identical to the last 7 generations that were previously released? Do you know what the difference is between an iPhone 11 and an iPhone 15? About $1,000. We're being told that we need to replace every item we've ever owned with a newer version that has 4K cameras and Bluetooth technology and USB-C fast charging and smart technology that can read your mind and order you a happy endings massage when you're feeling low. No matter how practical, functional, and well-made whatever item you have is, you need to buy a new one, a more aesthetically pleasing one, and most importantly, a more expensive one. And if you don't, you're a loser.
Hey everybody! I'm a stupid moron with an ugly face and a big butt, and my butt smells, and I like to kiss my own butt.
Now, speaking of being a stupid moron, I recently did something really dumb. I was sitting in a mall food court with my laptop when I remembered that my credit card bill was due and I had almost forgotten. So without thinking much about it, I logged in and quickly paid the bill. 4 days later, I checked my account and found nearly $500 worth of charges for a hotel in Connecticut. But I've never been to Connecticut. God damn it. And the stupidest part of all of this is that I could have been easily avoided with today's sponsor, NordVPN. When you're on public Wi-Fi, creepers be creepin', and they can steal your data, and apparently book vacations with it. NordVPN securely encrypts your data and protects you from hackers, phishing scams, and malware, so you can browse safely and anonymously from anywhere. You may have heard about the massive data breach that recently happened in the US. Nearly 3 billion people had their information leaked. Should've used NordVPN. You wouldn't drive your car without a seatbelt, though I once did. Got into a little fender bender and cracked my windshield with my thick frickin' head. But if you're smarter than me, you wouldn't drive without a seatbelt. So why would you use the internet without a VPN? Head over to nordvpn.com/Nicole to get 4 extra months on a 2-year plan. And hey, there's even a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not happy. But you will be. Almost as happy as that guy enjoying his free vacation in Connecticut. nordvpn.com/Nicole. So let's break down how all of this works for most people. You drag your sorry ass out of bed first thing in the morning and go to a job you hate. You spend 8 hours with the most insufferable people on the planet and get to go home just as the sun is going down, only to prepare for another day of doing the exact same thing tomorrow. After doing this day in and day out, week after week, you understandably feel a little bit beat down, so you turn to a little bit of retail therapy to make yourself feel better. After all, we've all heard the saying, all work and no play makes Jack want to throw himself out a 15th-story window.
Oh my god! Oh jeez! Oh my god! Oh jeez!
So you buy yourself some stuff. Not stuff you need, but stuff you think you want. And you feel a little bit happier. So problem solved, right? Well, no, because tomorrow you still have to go back to work all day. That part hasn't changed. And on the contrary, you now have an incoming credit card bill for all the stuff you bought on your little shopping spree, which you now have to make more money to pay off. Or more than likely, it's just been added on to an ever-increasing balance that you've been carrying around for a while. So now you have to pick up extra shifts just to be able to make the minimum payment, never mind to actually pay it off. And understandably, the stress of all of that actually makes you feel worse. So you end up treating yourself to a few more things that you don't actually need, all in hopes that you'll feel a little temporary burst of dopamine, or at least feel that you're working to do something more than just buy groceries. And you do it again and again and again, buying more and more crap you don't need because the thing that you bought yesterday or last week or last month just doesn't excite you anymore. The novelty factor is gone, and now you need your next fix. And before you know it, you have more stuff than you even have space to put it. And you don't actually really care about any of it. By now, it's lost all its monetary value, but just throwing it out would be a waste. So you rent a storage unit. and now you're paying $300 a month to store the stuff that you spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on already. And wait, hold on, sorry, how is any of this supposed to make you feel happier? Another issue with overconsumption being as rampant and as normalized as it now is that companies have no incentive and no need to actually make high quality items that are built to last. Because the presumption is that most people are just going to upgrade and move on to something else shortly either way. And in fact, one of the best ways for companies to ensure that people continue to buy their products is to make sure that they break quickly or become obsolete, so you have to buy a new one. We see this with fast fashion, electronics and home appliances, furniture, and even vehicles that people deliberately buy knowing they're poor quality, all because they're trendy and aesthetically pleasing, and they're totally fine with the idea of replacing them when they inevitably fall apart. I mean, in a year or two, there'll be something newer and nicer available anyways, so no real loss, right? Now, I am in no way suggesting that everyone should be living like monks, or that everybody needs to be a minimalist. I'm not even saying that every purchase needs to be 100% utilitarian. Not at all. I'm just saying that items are meant to be used and enjoyed. They're meant to bring you value. But the more of something you have, the less value you're likely to get from it. Look around your home. All that stuff used to be money. Money that you had to work to earn. And even if you're among the fortunate few who genuinely enjoy their job, the fact still remains that your personal life is moving on while you're at work. Your kids are growing up. Your parents are aging. Your pets are lying alone by the front door waiting for you to come home. The best years of your life, when you are the youngest and the healthiest you'll ever be, are flying by. And all that money you spent was earned by you trading that time away, and you'll never get it back. So really, you're trading your time with loved ones, or time you could spend resting, or indulging in your hobbies, or doing really whatever else it is that fills up your cup. You're trading all of that for a canvas print that says live, laugh, love, or another new water bottle, or another phone, or a countertop cotton candy machine, or whatever other garbage you saw on TikTok. So tell me, is it worth it? How many times were you dropped on your head? If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. You can follow me on Instagram. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. Love reading your comments. As always, thank you guys so much for entertaining my chaotic brain and listening to my rants. I'll see you next time.